接下来我们讲 SEO 部分哈。那 SEO 全名叫 Search Engine Optimization， 就搜寻引擎优化哈，那简称叫 SEO。那其他牵扯面向很广，包括说你的整体行销策略、你网站的一些连结的设置、社群的经营、网站的架构、页面设计、数据的追踪、网站的结构、HTML 然后关键字啊、排名等等的内容经营，这个其实都会跟 SEO 都会有关系。好，那 SEO 为什么这么重要？在数据指出啊，这个用户路上用户有80%透过搜寻引擎找到网站那其中超过前3页超过90%的点击，也就是说前3页用户你提供的产品服务或品牌用户在 Google 上面搜寻前3页看不到你的网站，代表用户都流入到你竞争对手手上了嘛？OK， 所以 SEO 就很重要。那 SEO 可以做不论你的品牌曝光客户引流、销售转换关系维系。甚至进来的品质跟流量会比较长期然后分散这些投资风险，比如像社群我们讲社群常会因为触及率关系常常改来改去那网站其实来讲的话，做好网站的 SEO 其实对你而言这个风险比较不那么大，然后因为你不断的调整网站，优化你网站的这个体质所以就会比较长远好，那关键广告最大差别就是关键广告是广告嘛，那 SEO 它收费就是相对来讲专业需求比较高一些，你可能需要带一点点程式底，你要知道网站到底优化你的网站程式哪里不好那如何去做优化那所以可能需要去可能需要去调整到网站。好，那关键字来讲的话，只要页面就可以投放广告了嘛那 SEO 相对需要比较长的时间，大概平均6个月到18个月那种区域型的话，在1个月就可以看到成效。OK， 那关于广告来就是你广告刊登出去嘛，就可以上去了那费用来讲的话，广告是得级付费嘛，那 SEO 得级不用钱，可是你中间优化一定会有一些成本好，那刊登期间来讲，它没有时间限制，那广告当然预算结束就结束了嘛。那点击率跟流量品质SEO 相对是比较高。那你说，那到底有做行销用哪一个？那其实应该2个都做了那这个如果你初期广告应该说你网站刚上线的时候，你不会在排名不可能排名在前面。那你为了曝光，你可以多增加关键广告。那你排名到前面的时候，你可以把这关键字就可以省下来就去做其他关键字。那中间过程当然还是要做 SEO 这样子所以最好是2个并行OK， 好，那我们稍微来看一下搜寻引擎运作的这个原理。
Hi, my name is Matt Cutts. I'm an engineer in the quality group at Google, and I'd like to talk today about what happens when you do a web search. The first thing to understand is that when you do a Google search, you aren't actually searching the web. You're searching Google's index of the web, or at least as much of it as we can find. We do this with software programs called spiders. Spiders start by fetching a few web pages. Then they follow the links on those pages and fetch the pages they point to, and follow all the links on those pages and fetch the pages they link to, and so on, until we've indexed a pretty big chunk of the web. Many billions of pages stored across thousands of machines. Now, suppose I want to know how fast a cheetah can run. I type in my search, say cheetah, running, speed, and hit return. Our software searches our index to find every page that includes those search terms. In this case, there are hundreds of thousands of possible results. How does Google decide which few documents I really want? By asking questions, more than 200 of them, like, how many times does this page contain your keywords? Do the words appear in the title? In the URL? Directly adjacent? Does the page include synonyms for those words? Is this page from a quality website, or is it low quality, even spammy? What is this page's page rank? That's a formula invented by our founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin that rates a web page's importance by looking at how many outside links point to it and how important those links are. Finally, we combine all those factors together to produce each page's overall score and send you back your search results, about half a second after you submit your search. At Google, we take our commitment to delivering useful and impartial search results very seriously. We don't ever accept payment to add a site to our index, update it more often, or improve its ranking. Let's take a look at my search results. Each entry includes a title, a URL, and a snippet of text to help me decide whether this page is what I'm looking for. I also see links to similar pages, Google's most recent stored version of that page, and related searches that I might want to try next. And sometimes, along the right and at the top, I'll see ads. We take our advertising business very seriously as well, both our commitment to deliver the best possible audience for advertisers and to strive to only show ads that you really want to see. We're very careful to distinguish your ads from regular search results. And we won't show you any ads at all if we can't find any that we think will help you find the information you're looking for. Which in this case, the cheetah's top running speed is more than 60 miles an hour. Thanks for watching. I hope this made Google a little bit more understandable.
OK， 好，那这个是大家看到它目前来讲的话，全球的网页就像图书馆一样，一直不断增加书籍，增加页面哦。那目前这种搜寻引擎啊，不是像 Google、雅虎、别人这么多搜寻引擎，其实在这种就是一组检索器，很像我们在图书馆找书一样的概念。那目前超过1亿 GB 去抓这些页面的这个索引哦，超过1亿 GB。那它的顺序这样的，首先它会先分析说用户输入的字词，去判断说它这个字词的意思，然后再去比对说它目前搜寻找到了些页面去查询然后找到页面之后，它可能要针对说页面做些排名然后再回传搜寻的结果。那当然搜寻结果说再考量用户的背景资讯。那比如第一个步骤来讲，搜寻字词啊，字词来讲，其实它这个我们现在常讲这个语言模型这件事情啊，语言模型他们也是在训练很久。比如说它如何去分辨说用户这个字词啊更换、兑换、调整，有点像，那如果差异在哪里它不断去做优化这个语言模型的部分。那再来我们看看它分析字词啊，它透过数据科学的方式来去分类，这个还蛮有趣的，看一下。
The Google search algorithm is made up of several hundred signals that we try to put together to serve the best results for each user.
Just last year, we launched over 500 changes to our algorithm. So by some count, we change our algorithm almost every day, almost twice over.
We really analyze each potential change very deeply to try to make sure that it's the right thing for users.
The first step in improving Google search is coming up with an idea.
There are almost always a set of motivating searches, and these searches are not performing as well as we would like. Ranking engineers then come up with a hypothesis about what signal, what data could we integrate into our algorithm.
We test all these reasonable ideas through rigorous scientific testing.
The first is with raters. These are external people that have been trained to judge whether one ranking is more relevant and higher quality than another.
We show these raters side by side for queries that the engineer's experiment might be affecting. We also confirm these changes with live experiments on real users.
And we do this in something that's called a sandbox. We send a very small fraction of actual Google traffic to the sandbox. We compute lots of different metrics.
In 2010, we ran over 20,000 different experiments. All the data from the human evaluation and the live experiment are then rolled up by a search analyst.
For each project, it's usually one analyst assigned from the moment that we're talking to the engineers, trying to learn about their change.
And the impact is quite small, as you see.
We then have a launch decision meeting where the leadership of the search team then looks at that data and makes a decision.
That surely we should fix.
Ultimately, the goal of the search eval analyst team is to provide an informed, data-driven decision and present an unbiased view.
Okay, so not approved, the team will understand what's happening. If our scientific testing says this is a good idea for Google users, we will launch it on Google.
For many years now, Google has been offering spelling suggestions for queries that contain typos or misspellings. So sometimes you'll type a query and you might see, did you mean, and then an alternate query. If you type a misspelling of your medicine and you don't click on the did you mean, you might be getting results that contain that misspelling, and they tend not to be high quality results. So we thought about a different kind of interface that we call full page replacement. And instead of did you mean, you'll see at the top of your page showing results for. And in the case that we made a mistake, there's another link, search instead for, and it has the query that you typed. We call that link the escape hatch. For every time a user had to click that escape hatch because the spelling algorithm made a mistake, we wanted to make sure that there were 50 other times that they got the right spelling suggestion and they didn't have to click the did you mean. And they were also looking to see in the live traffic data how often were users clicking on that escape hatch to make sure that the user signal that we get from live experiments was lining up with the signal that we get from our rater evaluations. We brought it to launch committee, and based on the rater evaluations and the live experiments, it was pretty clear that the engineers had done what they were supposed to do, and so we launched it.
When you align Google's interests with users' interests as we have aligned, good things happen.
We've put a huge investment into understanding what works for users.
Is this change going to help users not only in the United States or in English, but all over the world?
I think we get excited when we feel like we've hit on an idea that really helps a lot of users.
Users keep coming back to Google even though they have a choice of a search engine every time they open a browser.
.那我们看到他会去做很多那个测试 A/B 测试啊，测试完那个效果不错，大家都会用那个方法，那就直接评选之后就直接会用在大家的搜寻引擎的使用那其实都演算法的更新啦。好，那这个只要是页面上出现相关信号，然后就我们说比对这个用户他搜寻这个字词，那再来就是会做排名。那排名来讲，因为有些网站要么是太旧，要么就可能用鱼目混珠的方法，比如说可能我这个产业字词可能搜寻量太少，那我可以用那种什么咖啡那种字词比较多的来去误导用户搜寻到的时候点进来那他为了要辨识这些不好的网站那他们有他们的这个方法。他们的连接好像有时候会断掉，重新再接上来。
Hello, I'm Michael and I work on Google's search quality team. In this video, I'm going to discuss some key points of our Webmaster Guidelines, including syndicated content, thin affiliates, and doorway sites. Syndicated content is content that is copied from another website. Some sites copy content that stays on topic, but they don't add any of their own value. Other sites copy completely random and irrelevant content to increase their search traffic. Scraped content alone, even high-quality content, does not provide any added value to your users. Similarly, if your site participates in affiliate programs, make sure your site adds value and gives the user a reason to visit your site. An example of a high-quality affiliate site would be a bicycle blog with original reviews and commentary. An example of a low-quality affiliate site would be a bicycle blog that provides only copied product descriptions accompanied by affiliate links. The final category is doorway sites. Doorway sites are created purely to drive users to another website and often try to crowd the search results for a particular term or phrase. This provides the user with a poor experience, as more than one search result will ultimately lead them to the same site. A violation of our Webmaster Guidelines can negatively impact your performance in our search results, and in some cases, can even result in removal from our search results. Our primary goal is to serve users with high-quality, relevant information. These guidelines are in place to ensure a good user experience, so it's worth your time to give them a thorough reading. To learn more, please visit our Help Center resources. Thanks for watching.
OK， 所以大家看到这支影片，实际上有个概念，就是你有发现到他刚刚讲到的意思是，如果说你今天从别人家页面 copy 过来的内容，其实排名会不好所以你的网页最好是原创的不要都是直接复制别人家的内容好，那当然刚刚讲说比较夸张的，你的网页去揭露到别人个资它就专门揭露处理所以你网站最好不要去把人家什么信用卡个资把它揭露出来。顺便讲个东西那个YouTube 也是，它不只是画面声音的比对，它可以比对出来，文字也比对出来，画面比对出来，然后音讯也比对出来，画面这个其实都蛮厉害像大家像应该都有回顾我看我的影片嘛。那之前因为大家是比较算短期班，有时候我带那个像巨匠电脑那边60个小时，或者是职前训练破100小时的，那一般我会请同学留下个资。然后会我们之前有留，可是之前还会请同学出来个别介绍，因为我们要分组写专栏这样子。那同学在前面分享的时候 那个画面有截到声音跟画面的时候啊，我 YouTube 是上传不上去的。你听懂哦？YouTube 是上传不上去的。举例，我先把画面先暂停一下。
All right, today's question comes from the Bay Area in California, and the question is, just to confirm, does Google take manual action on web spam? Does manual action result in a removal, or can it also be a demotion? Are there other situations where Google will remove content from its search results? So I'm really glad to have a chance to clarify this because some people might not know this, although we've written this quite a bit in various places online. Google is willing to take manual action to remove spam. So if you write an algorithm to detect spam, and then someone searches for their own name, and they find off-topic porn, they're really unhappy about that, and they'll write into Google and let us know that they're unhappy. And if we write back and say, well, we hope in 6 to 9 months to be able to have an algorithm that catches this off-topic porn, that's not a really satisfactory answer for the guy who has off-topic porn showing up for his name. So in some situations, we are willing to take manual action on our results. It's when there are violations of our web spam quality guidelines. So if you search for quality guidelines, you'll find a web page that has all the stuff documented, and all of the individual stuff hopefully makes sense. It's essentially to avoid deceptive, manipulative, malicious behavior, the sorts of things that are fooling search engines, the sorts of things that are causing pages to be ranked higher than they should be ranked. And on individual items like cloaking or doorway pages or keyword stuffing, you can often click and get a lot more information, examples, find out why we don't like things like paid links or whatever. So the answer to your question is yes, we are willing to take manual action when we see violations of our quality guidelines. Another follow-up question was whether it has to be a removal or whether it can be a demotion. It can be a demotion. It tends to be removal because the spam we see tends to be very clear-cut, but there are some cases where you might see cookie-cutter content that's maybe not truly awful but is duplicative, or you can find in tons of other places, and so it's content that is really not a lot of value add, those sorts of things. And we say in our guidelines to avoid duplicate content, whether it's on the same pages, like things like doorway domains might have duplicate content, whether it's across domains, so having lots of different domains with very similar or even identical content. So when we see truly malicious, really bad stuff, we're often taking action to remove it. If we see things that are still a violation of our quality guidelines, but not quite as bad, then you might see a demotion. And then the last question was, are there other situations where Google will remove content from its search results? So we do reserve the right to remove content for spam. Content can be removed for legal reasons, like we might get a DMCA complaint or some valid court order that says we have to remove something within this particular country. We're also willing to remove stuff for security reasons, so malware, Trojans, Trojan horses, viruses, worms, those sorts of things. Another example of security might be if you have like your own credit card number on the web, So those are some of the areas that we are willing to take action, and we are willing to remove stuff from our search results. We don't claim that that's a comprehensive list. We think that it's important to be able to exercise judgment, so if there's some safety issue or, of course, things like child porn, which would fall under legal. But those are the major areas that we've seen would be spam, legal reasons, and security. And certainly the vast majority of action that we take falls under those 3 broad areas. But just to be clear, we do reserve the right to take action, whether it could be demotion or removal, and we think we have to apply our best judgment. We want to return the best results that we can for users, and the action that we take is in service of that, trying to make sure that we get the best search results we can out to people when they're doing searches.
OK， 好，那这个题就是各位如果说网页特别留一下上面有些个人资料，是有些病毒导致呢使用者的会危害到使用者的权益那他就会做这件事情。那这个专人就是处理我们现在是会看到有一个叫 Search Console 后台会看到这个东西好，那当然就是第4步骤回传结果。那回传结果当然也会跟网页速度专字这个其实都会有相关的那当然会在考量说用户的背景资讯，比如说这边范例讲说在美国搜寻足球跟欧洲搜寻足球是讲的不同东西一样你在台北搜寻比如个牛肉面那你在 不会跑出屏东的或者台南牛肉面哦。那你在台南搜寻的，其实就会因地制宜哦，会跑出邻近的这个东西哦。好，那这个我们下一次再来讲了 ，OK 好，那我们今天上到这边，当然我们其他问题。下一堂是最后一堂课哦 ，OK 那所以刚授部分来讲的话，我们就下一次再来讲。